Oh no. Hey, guys.
What's up?
What's going on?
I uh, I think it's time.
Time for the thing.
The calamity.
Uh,
Okay.
should I get socks on, or do you think I could go to the void without socks?
Caleb, at this
Technically,
point,
you
it
don't need
probably
to
doesn't
be.
matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
Now,
at
look,
all.
I'm gonna go over this one more time to make sure everybody understands. Every Harrison has to go to the void at least once. So we're gonna use our resident Harrison to get there. So if anybody has anything they want to say, now is the time.
Uh, I'd like to say something.
What's up?
Since all Harrisons go to the void, and if you guys didn't know, my name is Harrison.
Oh my god.
So I know a lot about this place because I'm supposed to go there,
Right.
Uh-huh.
and we could die in there.
Right.
That's the plan.
Naturally. That's kind of what we're trying to do here.
Well, we're not trying to die, but
Okay. Well,
this
we'd
is the
like
last
to not.
resort.
Death is upon us, boys.
Let's
Okay.
go.
We will
Nice.
High
try.
five all around.
I hate you.
gentlemen,
Don't touch me.
It's been a real ride, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
All right.
As the world faded away around them, the four found themselves in a space that defied explanation. A realm that wasn't quite solid, and the best their minds could do was make everything a grayscale void. But as they looked, they could feel a greater presence. One that wasn't quite aware of them, but they were very aware of themselves. Regal was enraged. This thing was going to destroy everything, and it didn't have the audacity to stand there and not acknowledge them. He screamed, "Chaos King! I demand you come down here and face us!" As if the king heard them, beings that could only be described as chaos demons materialized. Regal merely screamed louder, "Coward! Do you think this will stop us? I live for this!" He charged forward into the army, laughing and tearing through the ranks. The other three were going to help, but he didn't really need it. When he finished again the last time, he called out, "Listen to me, monster. I have been denied my villain thrice now, and I won't be refused again." And still the king didn't answer. Regal howled enraged and sprinted off. Trig and Caleb tried to stop him, but as he moved, he just went too fast. After he made about 50 meters worth of distance, his body fell to the ground with a horrible thud. Though all his friends could see was the corpse that it was slowly turning to ash, the king could see the spirit and mind running far faster than the mortal legs could carry. As the spirit ran, he changed. He grew farther and farther. He grew taller than the largest buildings. A crown of flame glittered to life upon his brow. 8 crimson eyes now residing in his head, and his jaw split into thrashing mandibles. A guttural roar leaped from his throat. When he arrived, he found the heart of the void, a large spherical mass within the abyss. Regal clasped his hands together and brought them both down upon the heart. This got the king's attention. A rumble was felt, not just throughout the void, but through everything. The three others could just vaguely make out a silhouette of Regal's new form. Suddenly, another titan appeared, one made only up of stars and black space. He rammed a fist the size of a school bus into Regal's mandibles. Regal doubled back with a kick, and the two began combat. As the two colossi exchanged blows, ripples were felt throughout the void. It eventually dawned upon Caleb that this wasn't the plan. Regal was holding the king busy so they could do something. Caleb racked his brains until finally his mind found the solution. As the others stood captivated by the fight, Caleb spoke. "Gentlemen, how about one last flight?" Using the power Harrison held within the void, the three created a spacecraft. They climbed aboard the boat, and a cruel joke came to Caleb. This is a flight where he needs to crash. Regal was trying to keep his mind split. A great portion was focusing on the duel, but a much smaller piece was watching over his friends. He did his best to peer into Caleb's mind, and while he certainly wasn't undetected, Caleb's mind felt something listening in on his thoughts, he did decipher the pilot's plan. He began to formulate his own plan. Caleb intended to crash the ship and hope that would kill the monster. He would need to restrain and position the target to be killed. So, he began to dodge, avoiding attacks and leading the being, all without trying to be discovered. As the ship grew closer, he quickly moved behind the king and restrained his arms, hoping desperately that he could hold him for long enough. As the three flew, a somber mood overtook them. They had realized Regal had caught wind of their plot, and they knew they would only have one chance. As the ship grew closer, they each stood at the controls. They each moved their hands to fly forward. A single defiant will was shared among them as they crashed through the Chaos King. When it crashed through, the king released a scream that sent shockwaves of madness throughout all life. The dead clambered out of coffins, cities leveled, entire people suddenly being ground to dust. As he screamed, Regal held him, not willingly letting his friend's sacrifices mean nothing. As the scream echoed throughout the abyss, all fell quiet and all went dark. Regal's eyes opened, or at least he was suddenly aware. He was lost within a white space, all alone. He wasn't the Colossus that dueled the king, he was himself. He then realized he wasn't just alone in space, he was alone in totality. His mind mused that he had taken the king's power after he died. He wasn't sure if died was the right word, but his head settled on that. He raised his hands in front of him. He focused and tried to create. He would remake his world, only this time so much better. No crisis, no foundation, no magical stones, no vampires. Just a normal life. When he finished his task, he lowered his hands in awe of his new power. As he set his new world off, he lowered his head and closed his eyes. And it would be a very long time until his eyes would open again.